today's video, I wanted to go over a question I get asked all the time in the comment section below on the long layered haircut. And that is basically explaining in a little bit more detail about the corner that we get left here right about where the ear is. Because we do a lot of over-directing to the front, we do a lot of over-directing to the back. Basically, we're over-directing in both different directions because we want to be able to keep the length in the layers because it is long layers and we don't want to lose that length. So by over-directing forward, over-directing back, we're now left with this corner. And so I wanted to explain that in more detail because a lot of people aren't understanding why do we have this corner? Why does over-directing forward and over-directing backward leave a corner in the side of the head, and why do we need to now address that? So without further ado, we've got our beautiful model here, Christina Aguilera, and we're going to dive into the reason why we have a corner right here about usually where the ear is, and how we go about addressing that corner so that the hair flows nicely without a lot of extra heavy weight where the corner is. So, without further ado, let's take a peek. Okay, so in that particular video, how to cut really long layers, the very first thing that I did is I took a very first section right here in the center back. I combed it straight back and basically cut it, and that was my guide. That's what created my guide. That was going to be the length of layer that I wanted here in the back. Then I took the next section and I had over-directed to the previous section because I wanted to leave these layers relatively the same length. So I didn't want to over-direct it too far. Again, if you do not understand over-direction very well, don't forget to check out my video on over-direction explaining the importance of over-directing. But basically, once I got to the point of the head where it starts to round from back to the side, then I started over-directing all of the hair straight back. Okay, so I would go straight back from this point. So if you took the comb flat against the head, it was straight back, straight forward. Okay, it wasn't back and then to the back, it was just straight back. So not back and to the left, I should say, but just straight back. Then the next section I took, I combed this hair straight back as well. And basically the next section is I wanted to make sure that I got all the hair and I had combed all of the hair on the side completely straight back. Okay, so you have to imagine if I'm combing everything straight back, then this hair in the front has a lot more distance to travel. So it's going to be left a lot longer, which was the goal. I wanted to keep this hair as long as possible because we were going to address that later anyway. So then after that, after the layers in the back and the sides were cut, and the sides meaning pulling everything on the side straight back, I was left basically with layers that all came back to here. So it was completely like a flat plane right here. All the hair, let's just say, if Christina was to stick her head, or stick her finger in an electrical outlet and the hair was to all stick out, all the hair coming back would all reach right here where the comb is, which was that very first layer, that very first guide. All the hair comes back to this comb. Okay, so again, this is the shortest layer because it only had to travel from the back of the head to the comb. This hair up here at the front is the longest layer because it had to travel all the way from the front back to the comb. But all hair matches this plane right here where the comb is, okay? So now we start to frame the face. So what we do is once we started framing the face, we took our first section, okay, and let me section this off. And let's just say, and this Christina's hair is already kind of layered with some framing. Let's just, for the sake of this example, pretend that that's our guide right there. So now we've combed and cut this section right here. Well, now we take the next section and we comb all of that hair forward to meet that guide and cut the frame the face layer right there. Well, then we take the next section, and the further we go back, this hair right here has a lot more distance to travel before it reaches that frame the face layer that we cut as our guide, right? So what's happening now is this hair is being left very long because it has to travel all the way from here to the front. Well, we've done that twice now. We made all the hair in the front have to travel this way first, so it was left long. Now we're taking all the hair and traveling it pulling it forward, over directing it forward to this, so it can be long. So what's happening is we have this weight, this corner right here. By all of the hair being pulled forward, this hair is left long. By all of the hair being pulled backwards, again, this hair is left long. So right about here is typically where you get a corner right above the ear. So let's just comb this out. And as you can see, whoever cut Christina's hair last, you can see the shorter layers right here, and it starts to get longer about right here. Okay, so the layers, because we over-directed everything this way, and then everything this way, this middle piece, this middle section, was the section that had to travel the furthest to both sides. Okay, and that's why we're left with this heavy corner right here. Now, the person who cut Christina's hair last maybe wanted to keep it heavy for whatever reason. They wanted to keep that corner there. I myself do not prefer the corner because it keeps it heavy, and the point of layers is for lightness, movement, volume. And so in that particular case, once we are left with this corner, because we cut the layers in the back and we cut the layers that frame the face, in my personal taste, I like to go through and eliminate the corner. So what I like to do is make sure that I don't actually cut accidentally into the outline. So I'm going to drop the outline, but then I'm going to take horizontal sections, and I'm going to basically cut that corner out. And what I'm doing now, so let's see here, let me give you an example. Okay, so by combing this hair here, pulling it out, there's that corner right there. And I'm just going to cut that off, boom, and that way it creates a more rounder layer. All right, so hopefully that tutorial makes a little more sense on all of the questions that I'm getting on, why exactly over-directing back and over-directing forward leave a corner right here above the ear. All right, if you have any questions, please don't forget to put them in the comment section below. If you like this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more great tutorials coming in the future.